Hi everyone, it's Victor speaking, and here is your weekly forecast starting from the 21st of June till the 27th of June. So there are some very significant changes this week, but you might be wondering why I've chosen the background picture. Well, one of the reasons I've chosen that because this is quite a lucky week. We're going to have a beautiful Sun-Jupiter energy exchange going on, which is very fortunate for us. That's probably one of the luckiest days of the year. And also Mercury has gone station direct. Yay. I mean, I'm excited about that because Mercury usually screws me up. So in the comment box below, just let me know what type of Mercury events did you have. But I had issues with immigration office. I had to go back 3 times to submit paperwork. I had laptop problems, so I bought a new one. I bought a new sound system. So this time around, you should be hearing me very, very well. So yeah, all those type of Mercurian stories, but not a problem. But it hasn't really finished yet. So this is what we're going to start the week with. Mercury goes station direct on the 22nd. However, he will be staying in the shadow period till 7th of July. But the good news is that Mercury eventually going to start picking up its speed. So the mind is going to go a lot faster. We're going to start, our thinking process is going to probably change quite a lot. We can actually clear up some misunderstandings as well. Our mind starts getting less foggy and more focused. Probably we will be able to return to our daily routines. Yeah, so it's quite a pleasant energy. I'm sure you guys know a lot about Mercury going direct. Probably you hear plenty of videos about that. So I'm not going to rob your time that much with Mercury. However, what I would like to talk about is Sun in Cancer, trine Jupiter in Pisces, which is going to be a 2-degree, which is going to be happening on 2-degree. Now, I'm going to share the screen for a second because you might have noticed, but actually I do like a lot when it comes to, hold on a minute. Oh, okay, hold on, I've got it here, so I can show you. So here is in symbol on cards, the Sun and Jupiter aspect. So you can see that we've got all those blessings coming down from the sky. It's full of opportunities. We are kind of blessed by the universe. This is something to do with optimism and faith. So we can actually really focus on long-term goals. We know that Jupiter is very much about futuristic goals. So it wants to expand, and the Sun is actually just giving us that self-esteem, that boost. So this is a very fortunate aspect. It talks about hope, self-belief, believing in your own values, probably your talent and your potentials as well. It's a brilliant energy actually to form an ally with someone. Now, remember that Sun is in the sign of Cancer, which is all about nurturing our needs, right? And Jupiter is in Pisces, which is all about our dreams, hopes, and wishes. So this could be a brilliant time to nurture your dreams, desires, hopes, and wishes. Cancer also talks about something to do with the stomach and feeding. So it is a brilliant day to feed yourself with something meaningful. This is a joyful, hopeful aspect with loads of positive energies around it. So use the most of it. Now, as I mentioned, Jupiter has got this forward-looking type of energy to it. So this Sun might give you plenty of optimism in regards to the future. So definitely a brilliant day to look at the futuristic aspect of your life. Now, Sun has got that radiant energy to it. So it is also brilliant to kind of how I'm going to be portraying myself in the future. So looking at who we want to become, how I imagine myself to be, because there is the type of dream self in your head. So how am I going to achieve that? You can definitely work on that. There is an element of an overcommitment, with overcommitment possibility with this aspect as well. We might feel way too optimistic, way too like invincible. And yeah, we can overcommit to things. We can overpromise things. We can be overly enthusiastic, and then we forget about our boundaries. So just make sure that you are aware of that, because Jupiter is already stationary retrograde, right? Which happened on the 20th of June. Now, but it might be about saying yes to something which popped up as an opportunity for you in the last 1.5 months. So this aspect really could talk about starting to look for some type of opportunities in your life. So as I mentioned, this is definitely the best of the solar transits. You can feel over the moon, on top of the world. You can really enjoy some radiant, friendly relationships around yourself, brilliant time to spend time with your friends and the family. You can have that very elevated high spirit. You can be extremely confident. Even it is a lucky aspect. That's the reason why I put kind of the leprechaun and the clover in the background, because it's brilliant day to make a bet, for instance, to go to casino, but don't overdo it. Know when to get out, because Jupiter is still in Pisces. So we dream about wealth, Jupiter, but Jupiter in Pisces has got the tendency to overdo things. So over drinking, over estimating themselves, and so forth. So, but there is also an element of a laziness to Sun and Jupiter trine. So it likes sitting a little bit back and enjoying the vibe. So brilliant day to sit in the park, just analyzing things, reading, doing something which is actually very good for your personal growth as well. I feel like that growth can be coming in a spiritual, personal, and in a material way as well. So Jupiter talks about wealth and abundance, but not just necessarily money-wise, but basically your overall net worth as well. So financial gains are very possible. This could be a very good day, for instance, in the stock market. Let me know if you check in those, how the Jupiter Sun trine plays out in that department. Now, of course, Jupiter is also about travel, especially international travels, visas, work permits, and all those type of legal matters as well. So we can even receive some positive news around those topics also. Very great energy to broaden your outlook on life also. By the way, I forgot to mention that the Sun and Jupiter aspect is going to be taking place on 23rd of June. Now, as I mentioned that Jupiter goes retrograde in the sign of Pisces, which is also probably a good news for us, because your hope is going to get a little bit tempered here. So especially with the trine, when the Sun and the Jupiter are in trine, sometimes it can go a little bit out of control as well. So it can be a little bit greedy. And I feel like the Jupiter retrograde becomes a little bit more realistic. So overall, I am very excited about this aspect. So the next one, which we wanted to speak about today, is the Venus-Pluto opposition, which is also taking place on the 23rd of June. Now, this is a completely different energy compared to the Sun-Jupiter trine. Pluto does talk about powers and controls, and Venus, for instance, the planet of money and and our loved ones. So there could be an element of a power struggle in that department. Now, Pluto definitely talks about our trust issues, and something to do with the loyalty might get questioned here with this opposition. So remember, opposition is all about my needs versus your needs. So someone might be feeling a lot more powerful, and then you feel kind of bad about it because you don't see necessarily the equality between the two of you. So I would say that Venus, which is all about your likings and dislikes. So maybe there needs to be an element of a deep research done about what I want to do and what I don't want to do anymore, what I like, what I don't like. So, but Venus, primarily speaking, it's the planet of love. So with Pluto, we might need to discover what is our love language. So when it comes to love language, so there are 5 types. I recommend Googling them. I think sometimes it's a very good idea for you and your partner to actually complete these tests as well, because you might believe that someone's love language is, for instance, to bring a bunch of flowers. But actually, you might be having a very strong desire to be appreciated by your partner, like telling you how delicious the dinner was, or thank you for washing up the dishes all the time. And that is going to be your love language. And I feel like if couples manage to kind of figure that out, figure your love language out, it could be very helpful in your relationship. Now, in many cases, when we speak about the trust issues with Pluto, we tend to be thinking about, let's say, whether my partner cheats on me or not, but there is also this reliability factor to it. So can I actually count on my partner? And with this opposition, it can get highlighted that, hold on a minute, my partner is not as reliable as I want them. And I feel like this is a very significant aspect of the Pluto and the moon, Pluto and Venus energy. Clearly, it does talk about, let's say that someone promises something to you and then it's not getting done. Maybe your husband promised you to, I don't know, empty the bins or do the garden the previous day, and then you just get frustrated by the fact that it hasn't been completed. So this aspect can bring some type of disagreement with your loved ones, but maybe it's the day when you should be talking about some uncomfortable topics with people around you. So, you know, when it comes to that disagreement part, we might not agree with everything what other people say, but accepting other people's viewpoint is extremely important with this aspect. So definitely with the Pluto-Venus energy, there is an element of intensity going on, right? So we need to be careful with what we say, how we communicate with others, because we can go to the extremes as well. Okay, so pretty much that's what I would say about the Pluto and the Venusian energy. However, you know, a couple of other things which maybe I would mention here is that this Pluto-Venus opposition can really bring up some uncomfortable feelings within yourself as well, which can make you envy, jealous, or creating some type of distrust in your relationship. Pluto is the planet of darkness. It's very oppressive. So with this Pluto-Venus, we can easily just want to be kind of sitting on the couch, doing nothing, because I want to be contemplating a little bit on my life as well. So you definitely want to be watching out. When it comes to Pluto, Pluto is very much about the buried aspect of your personality. It's kind of like, it's something which we tend to be sweeping under the carpet, the skeletons in the closet type of energy. It talks about some type of trauma which we have to cope with. It even can bring some paranoia and dealing with our inner demons. So maybe you also have got that feeling, am I not lovable? Why am I not attracting the right people? Why do I always have got these power struggles going on with my loved ones? Do I feel ugly? Do I feel beautiful? This could also be a significant topic. Maybe this is the day when you want to be just dressing up in black, for instance, because somehow you want to hide your beauty, or just you're going to be wearing baggy clothing, right? So with Pluto, Venus is very much about taking the power back into your life. You need to be doing some type of psychological demolition. You must purge yourself and kind of cleanse some of your self-esteem blockages. Pluto will definitely highlight that for you as well. So with Pluto-Venus opposition, we need to be releasing something in regards to money, love, and my personal taste, likings, but probably more importantly, something to do with our self-worth. Okay, so that's our Pluto-Venus opposition. So moving on, the next aspect we wanted to be speaking about, which is on 24th of June, and that's going to be a Saturn-Chiron sextile. I kind of like this aspect, because what Chiron does is actually building a bridge between Saturn and Uranus. So Saturn is very much about our past, and Uranus is very much about our future. So this sextile actually can help to kind of build a bridge between our past and the future as well. Saturn Chiron sextile could really talk about healing some of the repressed issues in our past. Kind of like, again, facing our inner demons. So we actually getting an opportunity here to also work with the Pluto-Venus energy, what I was talking about, which was pretty much of an emotional roller coaster, right? And this is exactly what the Saturn-Chiron actually can help to heal. So I would say that with Saturn, which is very rock hard, it's not an emotional energy. It tends to be burying things, and Chiron might want to bring those to the forefront. So Saturn is a guru. It's kind of a teacher, professor archetype, and Chiron was also a teacher. So maybe Saturn actually can seek help from Chiron to heal some type of wounds within ourselves. And then we can master those type of fears, blockages within ourselves. So this aspect is brilliant to address some of our past trauma, to kind of move on from any type of pain. But with Saturn, we must acknowledge the pain. So we must, it's kind of like, it's kind of like putting your finger onto something, you know, you have got an issue with. So I pretty much kind of like this aspect as well this time around. Probably you can feel a lot more capable of doing things. You might feel a lot more effective as well. There is probably, and you might want to be doing that in a traditional way also, because Saturn talks about traditional healing. So maybe something to do with herbs, maybe something to do with just Asian techniques. Maybe it's just a meditation which you kind of need to do. But there is no need to do this avant-garde type of healing this time around. It's more about healing something on an internal level. Brilliant. So this is our significant aspect for the day. And the very last one is on the 25th, which is going to be the Venus sextile Black Moon Lilith. So now that's definitely a very interesting one. So again, this week, Venus is kind of a star, or at least the healing department is definitely in the core of the week, because the Lilith aspect kind of signifies something between your loving and caring nature and something to do with your repressed dark feminine power. So, and this aspect is definitely asking you to learn about those two archetypes within one person. This could really talk about, to learn about relationships, your values, resources, or even money, or just trusting your own instincts. So Lilith is a little bit more like on the primitive impulses and behavior in our chart. That's kind of like the raw feminine energy. And of course, Venus wants to kind of balance that out. So looking at the darker side of the personality, something which is buried deep down in our subconscious, something in the back of our psyche. So so definitely this energy helps you to deal with that. Now, maybe Lilith does talk about temptation as well, alongside with Venus too. So actually, maybe there are some type of temptation you can start resisting on that day. Maybe it's just some craving for sweet things. But Lilith says that it's coming from the darker side of your personality. So overall, this is what we kind of wanted to speak about for this week. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. And if you did so, then you know what to do, press like. Now, a couple of aspects which I did not speak about this week, actually, and that is Neptune stations retrograde on 25th of June, but I have made a separate video about that. Explaining to you what Neptune really signifies in the chart. But very briefly, our illusions get stripped away. So we can become a lot more aware of what area of life we have been deluding ourselves, where we might have lost a little bit of a touch with reality. Maybe reconsidering what is meaningful to us, what is our desire, what are our long-term plans and goals and emotions. And the other aspect which I did not speak to you about in this video was Venus entering the sign of Leo, which is going to be happening on the 27th of June. But I will be making a separate video about that, because there is a lot to share. So thank you for your attention, and see you very shortly with the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.